All right, and we are back looking at reinforcement. We want to increase the probability of behaving in a certain way in the future. So we want example is that if I do my chores, I will get an allowance. So what is the thing that we want to continue? The chores. And what are you gaining that you desire? An allowance. Again, negative reinforcement is something that people get confused, mostly between negative reinforcement and punishment. So I want you to write down right now on your notes to make sure that you can understand the difference between negative reinforcement and punishment, and also to be able to give an example of negative reinforcement. So this is a hint that negative reinforcement and giving an example may very well be on a quiz and or a test. So go ahead and make that note now. So negative reinforcement is avoiding an unpleasant event as the result of behaving in a certain way. So the behaving in a certain way is that positive thing we want to continue, is that desired behavior, and we're going to avoid something that we don't want. So if I do my chores, that's the behavior we want to reinforce. Doing the chores is what we want to reinforce. I avoid getting grounded. So if I do my chores, I avoid an unpleasant event, which is being grounded. So again, this is often confused with punishment. It's not punishment, it's still reinforcement, reinforcing at that behavior you want to continue. You're just avoiding something bad. Okay, now on to punishment. It's a noxious or painful stimuli that's a consequence of behaving in a certain way. So something bad happened, and the parent in this example tells the child to stand in the corner. It's not something they want to do, but the hope is that if they're put on timeout for pulling their sister's hair, they won't do it again. So you're gaining something bad, a noxious or painful stimuli, as a consequence of behaving in a certain way. If we continue with the chores, I did not do my chores, so I got grounded. With negative reinforcement, it was to avoid being grounded, but now I am grounded, which is punishment. Lastly, for operant conditioning, we have extinction, which means that the undesired behavior is not given any kind of attention. So it's not reinforced and it's not punished. My parents would often say something like this to me with regards to my brother. So if I would just ignore the behavior, then he will eventually stop doing it because he's not getting anything out of it. But of course, it's difficult to do that when your little brother is being a little bit annoying. So the idea is that the behavior extinguishes itself, to get the extinction part there, if you're not giving it any kind of attention by giving it a reward or punishing it by putting it in a timeout. You're not giving it any kind of, again, attention, gratification from the child or whoever it might be, and so it's just going to go away on its own. But you've got to repeatedly not give it attention, which can be difficult. So here's just a chart you can go over on your own. And now we'll play which type of operant conditioning is it? Actually, you should probably just do this on your own. But if you want, write down what you think it is, and you can check at the end. So you're using a shock collar on a dog when it jumps on people or barks at them. So is this first think about, is it reinforcement or is it punishment or extinction? It's probably not extinction because we have a response to a behavior, so it's not extinction. Next, again, think if it's reinforcement or punishment. And then the type of reinforcement or punishment, positive or negative. Okay. There we go. Next, let's talk about different types of rewards. So one is physical rewards, like material goods, money, or in the case of my two dogs, treats. There's a little bone treat up there. Next is physiological rewards, like endorphins. I love this from Legally Blonde. That's what I always think about when they say endorphins. So are you going to exercise because you feel that rush of endorphins? Psychological rewards. So you're feeling good about yourself, feeling satisfied, feeling important or control. And then social rewards, improve status or acceptance, things like that within your social realm. So there's lots of different types of rewards that you could receive for the behaviors. It's important to think about as we go forward, both in operant conditioning that we've already done and going forward into social behavior. So, as exemplified here with the happy kitty and a grumpy kitty, even a smile or a disapproving look can be enough reinforcement or punishment to discourage or encourage a behavior to continue. So even those subtle things can make a difference on behavior. So getting back to criminal behavior, the point of view is that our criminal behavior is learned. And why do we do things? Because of the reinforcements that we get. Are we gaining something? Are we avoiding something that we don't want? What might be an example as particular to a criminal behavior? So one that jumps to mind, for me, is with, I can think of robbery. So why might you rob a convenience store? Well, one thing, actually, let's go back through. Why might you rob a convenience store? Physical rewards for money, and perhaps you're also getting some goods in the store, your favorite drink or something. Physiological rewards could also be the case. You like that rush that you get when you pull the gun on someone, when you're not sure if you're going to get caught or not. Psychological rewards, perhaps. Maybe you feel important and in control with a gun, and you like that feeling, that psychological dominance. Or perhaps social rewards. Maybe you're in a gang, and in order to progress in the gang, you need to successfully rob a store, and so after you do that, you gain acceptance within the gang. So even with that, stereotypical robbery example, we do have quite a few rewards that could reinforce the behavior, and all of them certainly could do it together as well. All right, we'll stop here and I'll start a new video.